Today's objective is to identify a number on the number line, its opposite, and its absolute value. How do we identify numbers on the number line? To plot numbers on the number line, we are going to graph a dot on the corresponding number. So let's do some examples. If I want to plot the following numbers on the following number line, I am going to draw a dot on those numbers. So for example, 3 is to the right of 0. I am going to plot a dot on 3, exactly on the crossing line, to represent 3. -1 will be to the left of 0. -1 will be positioned in this side. And 0 is exactly in the middle between the positive and the negative numbers. So, positive numbers are plotted to the right of 0. 0 is positioned here, mostly in the middle. And the negative numbers are going to be plotted to the left of 0. Sometimes our number lines are not horizontal, are vertical. So positive numbers are going to be plotted above if our number line is vertical, and negative numbers will be plotted below if the number line is vertical. So what are opposite numbers? Numbers that are the same distance from 0 in the opposite direction. So let's do some examples. What is the opposite of the following numbers? So 4, I want the opposite of 4. So 4 is positioned here to the right of 0. So if I want the opposite, I am going to find the same number but in the opposite direction. So the opposite will be -4. If you observe, it's the same distance, 1, 2, 3, 4, but in the opposite direction. So the opposite of 4 is just -4. What about -2? Well, -2 is positioned here to the left of 0. Is 2 units away from 0, but to the left of 0. So if I want the opposite will be 2, because it's in the opposite direction of that number in correspondence to 0. So the opposite of -2, that will be 2. What about the opposite of 0? Well, 0 is a special number. So 0 will not have an opposite, or the opposite of 0 is just 0. But what is the absolute value? These two sometimes can be confusing, opposites and absolute value. So absolute value is how far a number is from 0. So how far means a distance or a magnitude. So the absolute value of 4, for example, is 4 because it's 4 units away from 0, the distance, the magnitude. But the absolute value of -4 is also 4 because -4 is also 4 units away from 0. If they ask you for absolute value, they are asking you for distance, magnitude, how far. So your answer will never be negative. Also, you are going to see numbers between these vertical lines. These vertical lines mean absolute value. So for example, this reads absolute value of 4. If you see those vertical bars, a 4 between those vertical bars, this reads absolute value. This one reads absolute value of -4. So let's do some examples. Let's find the following. I want the absolute value of 6. Well, absolute value is how far, the distance from 0 to 6. So is just a magnitude, is just how far, so that will be 6 units. So absolute value of 6 is 6. Here they are asking you to find the absolute value of -9. Remember that these vertical lines represent absolute value. They are asking you find the absolute value of -9. So how far is -9 from 0? So even though it's in the negative side, in the left side of your number line, they just want the distance. So -9 is going to be 9 units away from 0. So the answer is +9. In the next example, they want the opposite of 11. Opposite. So here you have to be careful. They don't want absolute value. They want the opposite. So 11 is positioned in the positive side of the number line, in the right side. So the opposite will be in the negative side, but with the same distance. So the opposite of 11 will be -11. And in the last example, those vertical lines, remember, represent absolute value. So this reads absolute value of 25. Find the absolute value of 25. So they just want the distance, how far 25 is away from 0. So distance magnitude is never negative, so it's just 25. Okay, so now it's your turn. Find the following. Remember, you can pause this video now, open your notebook, take out a piece of paper, try to do these 4 examples on your own, and at the end of this video, I will give you the solution. So when you're done, click play again and go and check your solutions. Don't forget to like this video, share and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter @NumeritosTV if you want to suggest another topic, another math objective. Just let me know, send me a text message or send me an email. Thank you. Bye-bye.